The 2024 Phoenix Rising season is presented by Equality Health. And tonight's match is presented by NAU. It's Hispanic Heritage Night, as we got a big match in Week 29 as San Antonio looks to try and chase down Phoenix Rising as the push for the playoffs gets underway here in Phoenix. We're going to show you the standings. It's really tight down there at that 8th spot. You got 4 teams all within just 4 points of each other, trying to jostle for position and make their way up the Western Conference, see if they can't find themselves in the playoffs. We got a battle between the 2 last champions in the USL, Killian McClatchy, my partner Joe Lowry. This should be a really interesting match between 2 teams that need 3 points tonight.
Very much so, and 2 teams that are where they are in the standings right now, Killian, based off of their defensive play. The question for tonight is, which team's attacking talent will find the space they need to operate?
Well, we're going to start off with our players to watch, and that's presented by the Phoenix Union School District. For the hosts, Phoenix Rising, Tommy Angel. He's kind of been that guy since coming on loan. Just 1 goal, but it was a game winner.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the guy for Phoenix Rising in that number 9 spot. You mentioned it, just the 1 goal since coming in from LAFC. He's not getting enough of the ball at the top of this Phoenix Rising attack.
Yeah, over on the other side for San Antonio, they got the league leader in assists. Jorge Hernandez has been huge for them all year.
Hernandez is unbelievable. He is the number 10 to watch in this game. He's 6th in the entire USL Championship in touch share. For every 100 touches that San Antonio take, 12 of them belong to Jorge. He is an unbelievable on-ball playmaker.
Well, Jorge Hernandez, over the last 2 seasons, nobody in the USL has more assists than him. He's got 18 over the last 2 years. Well, we're getting ready for kickoff. We got starting lineups and kick coming up soon from Phoenix as the push for the playoffs rolls through.
There's satisfaction in sacrifice, in spilling blood, sweat, and tears, in knowing that you left it all on the floor and never threw in the towel. Well, except to clean up the mess. Giving it all for your team is worth every drop. Modelo, brewed for fans with a fighting spirit.
Huh. How long have you been tracking our car's value with Carvana?
Just like 7 months.
Should we sell it?
We hold.
Hold.
Silver vans are going for more right now. Should we?
Our low mileage is paying off. You think we should?
Hold.
Depreciation's really heating up. You think? We just did 2.5%.
Hold. Now.
I'm on it.
Already sold to Carvana.
Go to Carvana and track your car's value today.
Your health shouldn't depend on where you live, which language you speak, or the size of your paycheck. Everyone deserves access to high-quality care for a healthy life. At Equality Health, we partner with primary care providers to break down barriers to care and build healthy communities. Better health for all, the real game-winning goal. Equality Health is the season-presenting sponsor of the Phoenix Rising and proud sponsor of the Rising Community Soccer Clinics.
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Equality Health, by Carvana, and by Northern Arizona University. It's an almost picture-perfect evening for soccer in the Valley of the Sun. The temperatures have fallen, but the push for the playoffs is here. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry, welcome back in. It is a huge week here as we get ready to wrap up this weekend slate in the USL Championship. We're going to give you the starting lineups for tonight as we're going to bring it up here These are two clubs. They've been struggling to find the back of the net. Here's San Antonio. The big thing for them, this is their 27th different lineup combination in 28 matches.
It's a ridiculous hand that Alan Marcina has been dealt this year for San Antonio FC. So many different looks, so many different injuries. This team is getting closer to being back to full health. One name of note, not in the starting 11, Juan Agudelo. He's on the bench tonight, picked up a little bit of a knock in training. It'll be Luis Solignac playing as that number 9.
31 different players, 137 matches missed for the San Antonio club. Here's the host for Phoenix Rising. This is what they've got. Pretty similar to what we've seen. Really kind of the big change. Alejandro Fuenmayor, not the back line, a yellow card suspension for a night.
That's right. A little bit of a different look in the back for Phoenix Rising. John Stenberg as well, not a part of this group at the moment. Mo Traore in as that left-sided center back. But the player I'm watching most closely tonight, Tommy Angel, and then as well next to him, Gerald Margarita, now getting bedded into this team, has shown his skill in 1v1 moments.
Certainly going to need to try and find some goals for this club. As you mentioned, they are 23rd out of 24 teams in goals scored this season. Here is Lowry's Lowdown. It's my favorite part of the evening. I hope it's everybody else's. Presented by Peoria Nissan. Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, it's my favorite part of the evening too, Killian. It's a crowd pleaser. At least that's what I hope. For Phoenix Rising, they're going to likely have a lot of the ball tonight. They're third in the USL in possession. But Killian, they have the top passing accuracy percentage in the entire USL Championship. What does that mean? Well, it means they're playing it safe. Phoenix have not scored a lot of goals in 2024. They need tempo in possession. And for San Antonio, it's all about finding their number 10. Jorge Hernandez is a magician in transition. He's second in the USL in key passes. Those are passes that lead directly to a shot. They have to find him on the break early and often tonight.
Well, that is Lowry's Lowdown, presented by Peoria Nissan, as here is the Spooner availability report. As we said, a lot going on. No Lucas Silva, Omar Gray, Pablo Cisniega. That's one of the big ones for San Antonio. Their fourth different goalkeeper they've used this season, Richard Sanchez, between the sticks tonight. We mentioned for Phoenix Rising, Fede Varela, Darius Johnson. No John Stenberg, and Remy Cabral is out as well.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to watch the number 10 spot for Phoenix Rising. It's going to continue to be Giulio Doratiotto, the young Italian, in that 10 role, the tip of Diego Gomez's midfield diamond. Giulio hasn't been all that productive or creative in that 10 spot. Big shoes to fill in that role behind Tommy Angel.
We'll talk a little bit more about Giulio Doratiotto as well as we get ready to kick this thing off. USL Championship. We mentioned not much separating. 3 points would go a long way for both of these clubs, as the prior two USL champions look to try and make their way back to the playoffs and bring home another title. We're underway from Phoenix, as San Antonio will start with possession. There is Giulio Doratiotto with his first touch of the night. Nifty little back heel pass there from Luis Solignac.
Early on, seeing this back three look from Alan Marcina. It's going to be a 3-4-3 tonight, as you saw on the open in that graphic. 3 center backs on the field. Watch Mitchell Tainter, that left-sided center back, wants to build with either foot, right-footed naturally, but can break lines with that left as well.
Yeah, that back line, you've got Mitchell Tainter, Carter Manley, and then you've got Kendall Burks. Kendall Burks is the lone player to play every single minute so far this season for San Antonio. It's got to be a testament to just him, especially having used 31 different guys, as Derek Formella gets it over on the left wing. Drops it down low. Emi Quayshow going to turn and get it right back to Formella. He's going to try and set up, looking for the back post over the head of Margarita, and that will bring the first corner of the evening.
It's a positive start for Phoenix Rising, finding Formella, who's been bright when he's featured on the left wing at times this season. He's a bit of a tweener, can play as a 9, can play as a second forward, can play in the half spaces a little bit wider, can do so many things. And Killian, at times with Phoenix, that's almost been a disadvantage for him because he hasn't had a consistent role. Look for him to be bright on that left side tonight.
First Carvana corner kick, proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. Carvana will drive you happy. There's Charlie Dennis having a little bit of a conversation with the referees. They tell him to get it rolling. Plays it short, right back to Dennis. He's going to send it high up top, Mo Traore. Traore cuts back, still at his feet. Traore left foot, little low driven shot as it takes one hop into the waiting arms of Richard Sanchez as he boots this one deep.
Does a lot for my theory, Killian, that Mo Traore is a striker trapped in a center back's body. The guy loves to get forward class with that left foot.
Nice little touch, Emi Quayshow. The defender fell. Quayshow going to stop, get back to his right foot, and slows it down. Back to Formella. Formella trying to drive, takes a little bit of a shove in the back. As Formella looks to reset things, going to play it all the way back to Traore. Back over Lawrence Wyke now on the right side. Wyke sends it right back Quayshow. Phoenix doing a nice job trying to stretch this defense. Lobbed in into the center of the box and knocked down and cleared away by San Antonio. Long run, Popmar Boy goes and collects. And Phoenix controlling the first 2.5 minutes.
A great start for Phoenix Rising. San Antonio struggling to break out of their own half. That is excellent work from Popmar Boy, doing what he's done all season long, corralling the opposition's number 9. It's not Juan Agudelo up top for Alan Marcina tonight as he's struggling with that injury. Instead, it's Luis Solignac, who's a physical player. He's a veteran, shares some similarities with Agudelo. If anything, he gives San Antonio a little more physicality at the top of their shape. Popmar Boy, though, has won so many of those battles in 2024.
Solignac, 4 goals this year. He has scored the game-winning goal in back-to-back matches for this club, though. His little header over the top of Tommy Angel doesn't go through anywhere. Nelson Flores Blanco with some of his first touches will get it and play it back to his defense. Richard Sanchez, the Mission Hills, California native, has long run. Formella pestering, and this pressure from Phoenix causing a couple issues for the San Antonio back line in the early moments.
And you know what, Killian? In the early stages of this season, under now former manager Danny Stone, who's over with Orange County at this point, Phoenix didn't do a lot of pressing. They didn't press high. They often sat in a really tight mid-block and tried to absorb pressure closer to the center stripe. Under Diego Gomez, we're seeing them be a bit more aggressive, especially early in games with their pressure. And Hell and Formella both really stepping that line forward, trying to unsettle Richard Sanchez in goal.
Richard Sanchez, Mexican national. He's started the last 2 matches, a couple of clean sheets, and a few victories for the San Antonio team as they've been trying to make up ground here in the Western Conference. Traore steps up, trying to work himself forward, and a little bit of a deflection, nicely done defensively as it's knocked down, and here comes San Antonio. Brejito lays it over, gives it off Buckmaster, back to Brejito. Brejito looked like he thought he wanted to take a little bit of a look at it. Alex to switch sides. Cross back in, looking for the back post. Nobody's there. Buckmaster, as now there's a whistle. And down in a heap is Luis Solignac.
See San Antonio building through Jesus Brejito. Young Mexican Youth International, 9 caps with Mexico's U23. Is a relatively recent addition to the San Antonio side. We've talked a lot about Jorge Hernandez and that left foot. Well, Brejito has one to watch as well as we catch this replay of that collision in the box between Emil Quayshow and Solignac. Quayshow playing that left back role under Diego Gomez. Not a role that he has a ton of experience playing. Seeing that box awareness and that physicality inside the 18, that's a good thing for Rising.
Mentioned Quayshow playing that kind of left back role. A lot of faces playing in those sort of unfamiliar roles that we've seen so far this year. You mentioned one of them, Julio Dorotioto, in that number 10, as that one played right along and out of touch.
Yeah, there's Dorotioto playing as that attacking midfielder. Emil Quayshow being shifted to that hybrid left back role where he defends as a left back and he's a left back in build up as well. But we've seen already in the first 5-6 minutes when Phoenix are higher up the field, he'll pinch in into the half spaces into central midfield. Formella playing on the left wing. It's not really where Rising would have imagined him playing coming into this year. Lots of changes as you're trying to rebuild on the fly.
There's a turn. Brejito, Buckmaster chasing it down, see if he can keep it in. Just barely does, crosses it towards the back post, but Wyke heads it up and away from danger for at least the moment. Stop and turn, a little bit of shove at the back. Good defense from Phoenix in some of their first defensive opportunities for the night. One of the best defensive teams in the league, tied for second in goals allowed, just 27. The only team better is Sacramento. They've only allowed 25. That is out. Fans, remember the USL Championship continues on the ESPN networks in September. The matchup of the top teams in the East. Detroit City FC takes on Players Shield leader Louisville City FC in a Sunday afternoon clash. September 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. That one tomorrow afternoon. Worth it to check in on that. That Louisville City club is a doozy to watch.
Yeah, that's Phoenix Rising's last game of the season. Going to be a difficult one. They are reigning right now on top of the East.
It's Wyke walking it up a couple steps in the midfield.
And keep an eye on Emil Cuello just out of your screen now. Sort of playing that again, that hybrid left back role. Phoenix Rising looking for space.
Looking for Tommy Angel, and just a step too far away. We've seen the last couple matches for Phoenix trying to find ways to get Tommy Angel involved. You can see how good he is with the ball at his feet, making good runs. He's just had a hard time finding opportunities to score.
Yeah, he just straight up hasn't had enough of the ball. Killian, coming into this weekend, he only gets about 4%, really, 3.7% of Phoenix Rising's overall touches. Of all strikers in the USL Championship who have played real minutes, 500 minutes or more, he's 27th in that metric. This is a guy who scored 3 goals for Colombia at the U20 World Cup. This is a guy that LAFC went out and signed in the offseason from the top flight in Colombia, someone that they really believe in, until you bring in a certain Frenchman by the name of Olivier Giroud, and all of a sudden, well, he's not really in the plans for them for the rest of 2024. Phoenix Rising snag him on loan, and you said it, we've seen his quality. Straight up Phoenix Rising not utilizing his skill on the ball, not finding him in good spots enough at this point in the year.
This is a guy you mentioned, 4 goals in just 10 appearances in the LAFC system between the MLS and then their next pro side. Came to LA by way of Atlético Nacional in that top flight of Colombia. Turnover in the midfield, nicely done, knocking that down was Burra in the middle.
Yeah, not clean enough on the ball from Emil Cuello in the early stages. A couple of sloppy passes. Burra's going to eat those up in the midfield. Trova Boni as well, starting next to him, a player who can be more of a center back, but tonight is playing in that double pivot for Alan Marcina. 2 really rangy guys who will eat up a lot of those sloppy balls in central midfield.
Play all the way back. Sanchez, that one's deflected away, and Hell very nearly created something out of nothing.
It's a great opportunity for Phoenix Rising. If you're Alan Marcina down on the sidelines for San Antonio, you're starting to worry a little bit about your goalkeeper, Richard Sanchez. 1 of 4 to get minutes for your club this season. Too slow on the ball there from Sanchez, inviting that pressure from Angel. Panicking, delaying underneath that pressure. It's a worrying sign for San Antonio in the early stages. Things have got to be quicker for them moving out of the back.
That's certainly one way Tommy Angel can get a little more involved.
Unorthodox, maybe. Effective, sure.
There's the captain, Enzo Zambrano, who gets dispossessed, taken down as he's a little slow to get up. Played back to Mo Traore. White gets the ball back at his feet. Julio comes back and he'll get the ball. Zambrano. Now over to Emi Cuello. Good first 10 minutes from Phoenix Rising. Club that's been in decent form as of recently. Good slide as White. Awkward, but White will get the ball right back to his feet. White sets up, crossed in, back post. Formella tries to get ahead to it, but a tough angle. And it'll be out for a goal kick.
Love to see more of Gerald Margarita getting on the ball on that right side. Recent addition for Phoenix Rising. It's been a lot of play down the left as you see Lawrence White drive that ball across to Darius Formella on that left side of the box. Rising still knocking.
Fans, score your season tickets for the 2025 Phoenix Rising season with only a $100 deposit that gets you complimentary tickets to test drive your ideal seats. Visit phxrising.com/tickets for more information. If I had to guess, the deposit's already been paid by a couple members down there.
No doubt. No doubt.
Marco Rios Novo playing that middle center back spot as he lays it ahead. Formella, nicely done. Formella goes to collect, right foot in for Hanel, and Angel can't sneak his way through the defense. Nicely done right there in the middle by the anchor, Kendall Burks, and now there is a whistle and a foul. It'll be a free kick as Solognac got taken down.
That's well done from Luis. Oh, no, offside. There it is by the near side AR. I still can't get over that ball from Rocco Rios Nova. We're both stunned here in the booth. A lovely piece of distribution by Phoenix's number 1.
Little chip over the top, long run from Margarita and unable to get to it. At least in these first couple minutes from what we've seen from Phoenix, certainly a lot more aggressive and pressing forward, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. That has not been Phoenix's MO throughout 2024. They're just 18th in the league in possessions won in the final third. They've been a team that likes to win the ball back closer to midfield, closer to their own defensive third. Not so tonight. They've got a taste of the blood in the water from Richard Sanchez and a couple of those late balls. They're feeling it in the final third.
Long run from Mo Traore as tried to keep it in. Looks like he ended up doing it, as it will be a goal kick. Or offside, potentially. One of the two. Looked like the offside flag was indeed up. Pop Marboy, the impressive rookie. I don't think enough can be said about Pop Marboy in the season that he's had, kind of being thrust into this leadership role as Rios Novo has to get it away quickly as Marboy lays it ahead for White, now Charlie Dennis. Pop Marboy, a Senegal native out of Clemson, his first year, passed on the MLS Super Draft, a sign of this USL Championship side as Formella on the run, stayed on. Formella continues to work his way in, gets down near the end, and it's going to be touched out. It will be a goal kick.
That's great build-up for Phoenix Rising, eventually finding the space in the center circle, unleashing Julio Duratiotto to then play Darius Formella down that left side. Formella, mentioned it earlier, not a guy who's played a ton of minutes as a winger, and you can see it. You can see why he doesn't have that elite speed that you might get from a Darius Johnson, who Phoenix Rising brought in from the Netherlands and is not available with them tonight. You might get it from Joe Margarita on that right side. Formella is more of a tweener. He doesn't have that top-end separation ability to get to the end line and play that ball across. It's been a little bit of an issue in the early stages for Rising, who've had success down that left side.
Rios Novo will come back to collect that one. Second in the league in saves this year with 83 coming into the night. And a bad turnover. Turn back Brahito. Turn around, Solignac dispossessed at least for the moment. Bura. Going back, Hernandez left foot, little odd cross. It kind of hung up in the air and didn't go anywhere. As it'll roll out for a throw in. I mean, Quayshow will wait for Mo Traore to come and grab it.
San Antonio having some success unsettling Renzo Zambrano, who in build-up is playing as this single pivot for Phoenix Rising, who have been in more of a 4-3-3 as they build out, trying to find Zambrano at the top of the box, and he can turn and play into Duratiotto in the left half space or Charlie Dennis over in the right half space. Mixed success building through Zambrano. We've seen it work sometimes. There, he's just a little sloppy in possession.
Quick throw, Brahito pestering Quayshow, but it just sent all the way back. Down and settling down in the middle, Tainter. Burks, and now a slip from Brahito as he was trying to get to it. Don't even know if he would have had the step to get there. Margarita, and that one missed off the end of the foot. And be sure you watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches, including the championship final, will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of this season. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. As Duratiotto, left-footed shot, couldn't get himself settled, missed it wide.
Great tempo. We highlighted it earlier on in this match. The tempo there to move the ball quickly through the midfield into that final third. Duratiotto just can't wrap that left foot around the ball to curve it on frame. Still great energy, great speed there from Phoenix Rising, who have been the brighter of the two sides early on.
Young Italian came up in the Juventus system. Formella does a nice job doubling back to help out to cover up Buckmaster. Long, high swing, chipped ahead. Hernandez, if he can get there, but Pop Marboy beats him to it. And the strong rookie will play it off of a San Antonio player and get the throw in.
Just 3 touches so far for Jorge Hernandez, who's not playing in the role that he often has so far this season. He's not playing in the right half space as that kind of narrow winger number 10 type. He's over on the left half space tonight, so that Jesus Brahito, another left-footed, like silky smooth attacking player, can have that right half space to cut in or to play those long diagonal balls. Just those 3 touches for Hernandez, it's not quite enough for San Antonio.
Bad turnover, that one intercepted by Trova Boni. Boni lays it ahead, trying to get one through to Solignac, but Mo Traore right there, Johnny on the spot. As now Duratiotto will settle it down, play back to Quayshow.
It's too slow. there from Phoenix Rising. Charlie Dennis looking to float between the lines, get on the ball up at the top of your screen there on the left. Phoenix Rising, don't try to attempt that line-breaking ball that was on.
White pressed ahead, Margarita. White will make a run, but they don't want it. Zambrano as Angel comes to the ball and asks for it. You can see Angel trying to find a way to get the ball at his feet as Traore brings it across midfield. Zambrano down low, good turn by Dennis, back to White. White off to Margarita.
Yeah, this is where you need his 1v1 ability to break down the block.
Margarita crossed in, couldn't get through. Angel took a little bit of a bump. As that one headed away, Phoenix going to keep possession though.
That's been a huge part, Killian, of what Phoenix Rising have missed in 2024, and a big part of why they went out in the summer transfer window and signed 3 wingers: Damian Barker-John, Darius Johnson, Gerald Margarita. Margarita, in addition to having the best name of that whole bunch, he is the most dynamic 1v1 threat. He is the player who is able to draw you in, take a touch right around you, and explode to the end line. He's the crafty addition of those 3 players. Rising have missed that kind of player, that profile of winger this season, because they've had a bunch of low blocks to face because teams know they want the ball and not enough outlets to actually carve through those tight spots.
Traore with the ball at his feet. We saw it in Margarita's debut for Phoenix. Just that quick, that first step, it was really difficult, especially he came on late in that first match. Tired legs up against him is a tough ask as White gets it over to Margarita. Margarita working towards the edge of the box, laid off Julio. Now that one knocked down and away as Brito going to take it. Brito, nice little cut inside, gets around Quaisho.
There's that left foot for Jesus Brito. The San Antonio coaching staff really like what they have in the player on loan from Chivas. Still young, still a lot of room to grow, but you can see how skilled he is on the ball in tight spots.
There's Burks. Burks, a Tacoma, Washington native. Played collegiately at the University of Washington. Has a turnover, press it forward. Margarita, long stride. Margarita goes for the shot, took an extra deflection. I think it went off of him, and it did indeed. It will be a goal kick.
Margarita with the lane. Thereafter, Charlie Dennis does so well to step and win the ball in midfield. Phoenix attacked on that right side. Margarita has runners in the box. Just takes one too many touches. Gives Kendall Burks the opportunity to close the angle. Come in and make that challenge. Phoenix Rising with another missed opportunity.
Quick throw. Phoenix trying to keep the pressure on as they played a majority of these first 20 minutes in the attacking third tonight. Traore swings it to the near side for Mella. Quaisho comes to the ball, elects to play it back. Mo Traore. Zambrano to White. White chipped up over the top and took a little shove, but it didn't matter as Sanchez came out to collect that one.
It's not a great ball from Lawrence White, but you know what? I don't mind the idea of trying to test Richard Sanchez. He's been shaky with the ball at his feet. It's hard to maintain your confidence as a goalkeeper when you've had a couple of those early errors. You're feeling shaky at that point. Phoenix testing his ability to come out and claim crosses and claim those kinds of chip balls inside his own box. It's a nice idea.
Burrito, nicely done by the youngster to keep the ball at his feet. He's going to get it right back. Not going to get around Margarita that time as it'll go quick throw, and he tosses it back in to Burra.
Phoenix doing a good job of suffocating those 2 central midfielders for San Antonio, pressing out of that 4-3-3 shape with Dennis over there on Burra.
Hernandez switched sides. He's now on that right side you mentioned where he likes to be.
Yeah.
And it's out for the first Carvana corner kick of the evening for this San Antonio club.
And it looked like just an impromptu switch where Brito drives over, cuts inside on that left foot. He's making that natural diagonal run. He ends up over there. Hernandez understands, well, now the space is over on the right. Curious to see if they stick in those places or if they revert back.
8 assists so far this season for Hernandez. Leads the league, 18 over the last 2 years. Nobody has more in that stretch. He was the guy who helped facilitate both goals in the win against Phoenix earlier this season. Has knocked down all the way back out. Little touch, and Dennis does a nice job to stay calm and send it forward. Here comes Angel. It's a 2-on-1 if he can take advantage of it. He had Margarita waiting over there. Decides to swing it to draw Margarita. Poor touch, but he's going to keep possession. Wait for some more red kits. Margarita cuts to his right. Now tries to stop. right on the edge of the 18. Laid back out. Quayshow, the hands up, wanting the ball, and he finally gets it. Quayshow, low-driven left foot, knocked into a patch of bodies. As Hernandez going to be the one to get it there, and finally cleared up and away by Blanco. Solignac, the one to get it, but Pop Marboy is right there. Marboy and Mo Traore, the two Senegalese men in the back line, have been a brick wall so far tonight. As now Formella, back again on the left side, back to the center, Tommy Angel. Gets it to his left foot, knocked down, and it will be a corner.
Phoenix still waiting for that real clear-cut chance on goal, but I'll tell you what, Killian, this has been a really, really nice start for Phoenix Rising. A lot of pressure on them coming into this game. Two teams that are jostling for a spot in the playoffs. Not for seeding, just for a spot above that line. Phoenix Rising seem to feel that intensity and feel that pressure. They've moved the ball with more tempo, with more pace. They've been bright and energetic defensively. Not a perfect start through 20 minutes plus, but a nice opening for Rising.
This corner kick is brought to you in part by Carvana. Carvana will drive you happy. As Charlie Dennis ready to send his left foot through it. Going to go right into the middle, headed down. Dorotioto got his head to it, but a diving Richard Sanchez took care of it.
It's a great ball into the box from the left footer, Charlie Dennis. Phoenix Rising with yet another chance inside the 18. Richard Sanchez, though, not really troubled by that header.
That was Quayshow got to that one. Bad pass, turnover, Formella. Might want to have a look, and it takes a deflection, but Sanchez does a nice job to read it and get it right back out quickly to Reese Buckmaster. Buckmaster off to Brahito. Two running in tandem on that right side. And a long ball, and Marco Rios Novo will watch that fly calmly over the goal. As Phoenix Rising and Modelo have teamed up to offer the ultimate game night experience. For just $35, get 2 tickets and 2 20-ounce Modelos to elevate your game day. Don't miss out on this special offer. Get your tickets today and cheer on Phoenix Rising. Buy now at phxrisingfc.com. We are Phoenix Rising. Todos Rojo. The tackle coming in and a slide and a collision. Nothing to be there, as now there will be a late whistle from Quayshow, as they will say a foul. And Quayshow just getting a talking to.
We've seen that a few times this season, Killian, with Emil Quayshow and the center referee. Nothing really intentional on that sequence as Reese Buckmaster is still down. Quayshow comes in trying to make a play on this ball. A little bit of miscommunication between him and Darius Formella. Just can't pull out of that slide quite quickly enough, and Buckmaster now back to his feet.
It was like Formella almost like setting a screen there.
Still working on those out-of-bounds plays.
Yeah, he set the screen. Buckmaster didn't get a call from anybody to let him know it was coming.
I don't understand the moving screen rule in the NBA now, so I've kind of given up on all that. I didn't think there could be fouls on those things. You learn something every day.
That one slide, but out. And a throw in back to Phoenix. Buckmaster did his best to try and keep it in. Crowd tonight in Phoenix. The temperatures finally come down. It's a lovely 84 degrees as of now.
Sweater weather.
It really is. And hell, nice little 1-2 between Dennis and Wyke. And now Dennis gets taken down from behind, and it will be a free kick.
That's what you get with Tommy Angel dropping between the lines. He's the guy who wants to combine. He loves to have the ball at that left foot.
Played it quickly as Formella gets it on the left wing. Goes right back. Quayshow wants the 1-2. Formella, low cross and knocked almost into the back of their own goal. Dangerous from Kendall Brooks.
I love that quick restart from Phoenix Rising. Catching everybody off guard by moving quickly from that free kick, shifting the ball from right to left. Lovely through ball from Emil Quayshow to Formella. Phoenix Rising still knocking.
And Kendall Brooks just breathed a very, very heavy sigh of relief with that one. Another Carvana corner kick, third of the night for the hosts. Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Marboy, the rookie.
When you can't find the back of the net in open play, where do you turn? You turn to set pieces. A lovely delivery from Charlie Dennis. And who else but the defensive anchor, the physical monster, Pop Marboy, rising up inside the 18. Richard Sanchez dives down to his right. Too little, too late. The Senegalese native has that across the line, and it's 1-0 Phoenix Rising.
Second goal on the year for the impressive rookie, as Pop Marboy used all of that 6-1 frame to get up and head home the first. A big 1-0 scoreline now for Phoenix.
You talk to coaches, Killian, not just around the USL Championship, but around the world of this sport. And set pieces are such a critical part of this game. It's not something that they love talking about. It's not something that players love to dive into. It's not the regular flow of the game. There's a reason why we differentiate between open play and set pieces. You know, it takes time to drill them in practice. It's not always fun. But they do pay off, especially when your attack is sputtering in those regular open play sequences.
24th goal on the year for this Phoenix Rising club. It's been one that's been playing well as of recently, trying to continue the good form and possibly get going on a hot streak. Is Dennis. Phoenix once more. Is Margarita gonna have to chase this one down? Long ball played all the way over the top through the box as Quaisho comes sprinting in to keep the ball. Formella tried a little back heel, but he got caught up on himself. As Quaisho there to pester Brejito, but turned right back over. Zambrano with all sorts of space. I think he was surprised by how much room he had as Quaisho comes back to help him out. Zambrano. Formella. Phoenix now taking a little bit of time as there's Traore back to the goal scorer, Pop Marboy.
San Antonio trying to structure this 5-4-1 block. Luis Solignac trying to organize the pieces behind him as he's up top as that 9. Rising looking for the gaps.
Trying to get a little fancy with the passing as Margarita gets upended. And now Dennis kind of wrapped around, and there will be a whistle and a stop after that foul. And now Margarita getting a little bit of a shove in with Nelson Flores Blanco before they get back going.
That's great pressure from Darius Formella. A pressing trigger for Rising early on in this game was when one of those outside center backs, in that sequence it was Carter Manley, receives and they're not facing forward. Formella knows that he can close and that Manley can't quite look over that shoulder to know where exactly the pressure is coming from. He can feel it, and that's why we see the quick pass there from Manley. But that is fantastic pressure and a great recognition of the cue, that blind ball from Darius Formella.
Brano gets it off Quaisho. Formella hesitates, gets himself a little bit of room, trying to find Tommy Angel as Angel tried to spin around the corner on that one, but Burks did a nice job as Traore heads it up. Nice job shouldering away Solignac.
It's only been 30 minutes, Killian, but it has been a long evening already for Luis Solignac. San Antonio getting pinned so deep in their own half, their only option in possession before Rising end up pressuring them to force a turnover is to feed Solignac up top. But he's got Mo Traore and Pop Marboy, two physical, strong center backs. Marboy maybe more so certainly than Traore. But Solignac's had no room to breathe up top as that 9.
When you just saw Solignac just a second ago kind of wave his arms saying, come on, get up here with me.
He needs bodies around him.
Little shove from the back. Margarita now taken down from behind. Margarita can't believe it, as it will be a free kick to San Antonio. Now Margarita getting a stern talking to by the head referee.
Jorge Hernandez doing a good job of drawing pressure. 3 Phoenix Rising players around him. Hernandez and San Antonio need that moment to breathe. They've been trapped inside their defensive third for so long, not getting on the ball, not moving it around, not trying to exploit the weaknesses in Phoenix Rising's own defensive shape. They need this opportunity to reset and having a dead ball opportunity as well.
One 1-0, 32 played tonight in Phoenix, thanks to the 27th minute goal off the head of Popmar Boy off of a set piece. And that will be out. It will be a corner for San Antonio. A Carvana corner kick.
San Antonio really trying to send those runners around the screeners inside the box.
This one, low driven cross, knocked up as, lo and behold, the goal scorer. First to get his head to it as Marboy helped clear that out. They'll just switch sides on the corner.
And it's Mitchell Tainer, who's really trying to free himself up inside the 18. He's a monster inside the box. We see Popmar Boy already put a goal away. Center back, rising up inside the box. Tainer's trying to do the same thing at the other end.
Tainer 6'3", the San Antonio FC all-time leader in appearances. This one low, driven to the near side, knocked around, still inside the box, and finally cleared away as a whistle. And it looks like that's Giulio Doratiotto who caught the worst of it as they tried to clear it out, as he'll get some help up.
Good defensive focus on the set piece. Don't deal with that first ball that well, but Phoenix Rising staying in the play, and Doratiotto feeling it a little bit at the end of that sequence.
And Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many other elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
That's unbelievably good from Darius Formella. Doesn't have any real options. Phoenix Rising too slow to move off the ball to free themselves up for a pass. Formella finds that room to squeeze out of it himself.
Advantage played after that contact. Phoenix, though, continuing to press, looking for a second tonight. And hell, see how quick he is with the ball at his feet. Formella wants to try to get a little nifty and go the back heel, but put it right into the feet of Buckmaster, but right back to Renzo Zambrano. Swing it to the far side. Margarita nicely done. Intercepted that one by Hernandez. It's been a frustrating night for San Antonio as a whole, and certainly for Hernandez not being able to get the ball at his feet as much as I'm sure he would like. This one played up, trying to find Angel. Flag did stay down. And Margarita lays it back to Wyke. Traore as Phoenix looks to switch sides. Wyke back to Margarita. Margarita goes up. Giulio weaves through a couple of defenders. Dennis gets it back to Giulio. Zambrano, all sorts of space. As Burra going to come and try to get the ball off of his feet. Wyke. Gonna stop. Wyke takes a shove, and it will be out for a goal kick. Lawrence Wyke looking for a foul, doesn't get anything.
Phoenix Rising still searching for those opportunities to parse their way through San Antonio's deep 5-4-1, which on the year, Killian, has been excellent. And even when they bent tonight, they haven't broken so far in open play. This is a San Antonio team who has made their money this season, who has stayed afloat in the playoff race by being an excellent defensive unit. They're top 8 in both goals allowed and expected goals allowed. 8th best team in terms of goals allowed in the championship, and 2nd overall in expected goals allowed. They've been very, very sharp against the ball in 2024. And we're seeing glimpses of that, especially as Rising try and fail to penetrate down their right, San Antonio's left.
Play this all the way back to Rocco Rios Nova, who's had a quiet evening. Diego Gomez certainly doesn't mind him having a quiet night. I'm sure Rocco would prefer to be a little more active.
No, he's already played a couple of those jaw-dropping balls. I think everybody's happy if that's what Rocco gets to do, and he doesn't have to make too many extensions in his own goal.
If you could tell Rocco he could switch that black keeper's kit out for a red one, I think that would be his dream.
You know, I asked him about hopping in central midfield a couple of weeks ago, and he said, you know, I'm not mad at it.
Collision as Giulio came together, and he and Burra exchange a thumbs up with one another after that. And Hell still the pressure as Burra has to turn, does a nice job to get around. Long ball playing all the way through looking for Buckmaster. But Traore does a nice job to knock it down and right back off Buckmaster.
That's so good from Mo Traore, covering all that ground, putting those long legs to good use, sliding over just in time to shut down that attack.
Now at Metro by T-Mobile, you can get that new customer feeling again and again. Introducing Metro Flex, more than just free phones when you join. And you can get the same great deals as new customers on 5G phones like Samsung, Motorola, and Revel when you stay 12 months and trade in a phone. It's the first of many initiatives they're making to ensure all their customers, new and existing, feel valued. Ball in, and Hell, and can't get it across goal. And Hell was right there, had an opportunity, and just couldn't put it on target.
Lovely clipped ball from Charlie Dennis. Finds Tommy Angel. Just off to the right there. You can tell how frustrated a striker is by how long they lay on the ground after missing a chance like that. Tommy Angel was on the ground for a good 3-4 seconds. That's when he's going to be thinking about later on tonight.
Traore does a nice job to win that ball and played back. Potmar boy going to leave it off for his keeper. Rocco coordinating traffic.
Yeah, so much space for Renzo Zambrano to get on the ball. Phoenix having a ton of success building through central midfield so far in this game. The midfield double pivot for San Antonio of Trovaboni and Burra just hasn't been able to deal with the three players that Rising have in those spaces. Here's Dorazioto on the ball in tons of space.
Formella wanted it. He got it. Flag. If it stays down, they're going to keep playing. It does. Formella, all sorts of space. Cuts to his right. Formella, right-footed shot. And Formella makes it 2-0.
Darius Formella cutting in on that right foot, making Richard Sanchez pay. It's one Sanchez that's going to want to have back. Phoenix Rising having success building through central midfield, putting San Antonio on the back foot, and making things happen inside the box. Sanchez gets that leg extended. It's the right technique from Sanchez. Just doesn't commit to it fully as Formella takes that right-footed strike. And Phoenix Rising are 2-0 up in front of the home crowd at 38th and Washington.
Formella, his 5th goal on the year. He had 12 a season ago. A big second goal to add to the lead in a first half that has been complete and utter domination by the hosts.
Coming into the night, Killian, the question was all about Phoenix Rising's attack. And really the same for San Antonio. It's just one evening. It's just one 40-minute stretch, but Diego Gomez down on the sideline should be feeling confident about his group right now. It's been 2 months plus since Phoenix Rising have scored 2 goals or more in a single game. They have 2 goals in 40 minutes so far tonight.
Potmar boy in the 27th. And then Formella in the 39th. As San Antonio going to see if they can't find a goal to bring it back within 1 before we go to the halftime break. Little back heel, some space there. They don't want to get a lapse. Buckmaster rises up, but Formella comes to try and clean things up. Lovely touch by Formella. He starts bringing it back the other way. Played ahead, Angel going to stop. He's going to have to wait for some help, and he does. Going to get it all the way over. Dennis just out of the reach of himself, but he'll chase it down. Phoenix might not be content with just 2 in this first 45.
Yeah, you can see it. They're feeling it. You saw a back heel earlier on the left side. Now you got Tommy Angel holding off the much larger Kendall Burks. Phoenix feeling things flowing on the ball.
Formella was a little slow to get up after he played that one ahead for Angel. Taking a moment to recompose himself as Margarita a little too far out of touch for him. As Burra, bit of a poor play, poor touch, and knocked down and around. Trovaboni will turn, and he's able to get it off of his feet as San Antonio holds on to possession.
It's been a sloppy first half for San Antonio. You think about the mistakes from Richard Sanchez with his distribution, and then on that second goal where he doesn't cover himself in glory. Think about Burra in central midfield, and he's been sloppy. Boney not playing in his maybe best position in that midfield group where he might be better off as a center back. Jorge Hernandez hasn't been on the ball enough. It has been a bad 42 minutes now for San Antonio. This is not the evening that they wanted.
They're trying to swing it. Buckmaster with a lot of space. Quayshow, long run to get to Buckmaster. He's going to turn. Buckmaster with some space on his left. Solignac knocks it down. Right-footed shot deflected down by Traore and cleared out of the 18. Quayshow shoulders it down, and Phoenix will quell the danger. Laid it ahead and hell, but Burks elevates over the top of him to head it back down. Those possession numbers, about 62% in Phoenix, but it feels like it's been so much more for the hosts.
Yeah, Rising have had basically all of the meaningful chances outside of a little bit of half danger here and there on a San Antonio set piece. And that look from Solignac, you can see with how quickly he hit that ball, ends up rushing it a little bit on that strike, trying to pick it out of the air. He's desperate for a look. He's desperate for anything inside the 18.
Solignac gets a foul, and he's being motioned to come over by the head referee as Wyke slow to get up. Solignac getting a talking to. It's going to be a tough conversation with Solignac. You got the head referee, and then Mo Traore and Rocco Rios Novo kind of come backing up saying it's like the little brothers standing behind mom.
Tell him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you can ground him. Come on.
You're talking about where this game's being played, Killian. Another opportunity for Phoenix Rising, knifing right through that central midfield.
And held all sorts of space. Gets it back. Formello right foot just over the top. Formello was looking for his second.
San Antonio are broken through that central midfield space. Alan Marcina's got to be sweating bullets over there on the near sideline. He is ready for the halftime whistle. It's been complete disarray, almost from minute one for San Antonio. You see it now on your screen. Burra and Boney talking it out, trying to figure out, hey, where were you? Looking for help from the center backs, looking for help from the front three, who have done a poor job of blocking off those passing angles. Phoenix Rising, between Zambrano as the 6 and Angel as the 9. The 2 8s sort of with Duratioto off to the left and Dennis off to the right. They have run circles around San Antonio's midfield group.
Brahito going to knock the throw back towards Carter Manley. Burks. Pressed forward, Hernandez. Hernandez with the ball at his feet, working ahead. There's Burra. Manley trying to get up and involved. 2 minutes added on. Cross towards the back post. Nobody is there in white.
I'll be shocked, Killian, as we enter stoppage time, if we don't see some sort of change from Alan Marcina, whether that is structural in terms of his shape or in terms of the cues of who's covering Phoenix Rising with that midfield diamond that they can get into in possession under Diego Gomez, either in terms of structure and of principles and of tactics or of personnel. When you look towards the bench, you're at the point where you're making a change even just for the sake of making that change because things have been so bleak through the first 45 minutes.
Which would you go with? Do you think it needs to be more structural, or do you need to simply just get somebody else on the pitch?
Really, I think you could go down the lane of doing both. Thinking about having Kevon Lambert, Phoenix Rising legend, who's been a part of this club, had been for the better part of a decade, on the bench tonight. There are options to bring more seal and more chemistry and cohesion to this midfield group, but also, two players right now in Burra and Boney are trying to do the job of 3 or 4. They're not getting the proper help in the cover shadows from the front 3. The center backs, especially the outside center backs, aren't releasing into midfield because they're being pinned by Phoenix Rising and their wingers as the wing backs try to push up for San Antonio. So to answer your question, Killian, you need both.
Way shows Phoenix wants to go quick. They want a 3rd goal before we go to this halftime break. As we're approaching the end of these 2 added minutes in this first half. Phoenix seems content to try and set up at least for one last attack. Traore gonna look over the top. A little bit of a shove from Burks as Manley gets it, knocked down Burra. Manley presses it across midfield. Gonna lay off Buckmaster. Buckmaster weaves along with Brahito. Manley. Now Brahito. Provaboni going to send this one in, back in, and out. And there is the halftime whistle. What a 45 minutes from Phoenix Rising as the fans here at 38th in Washington come to their feet. A 2-0 advantage for the defending champions in a big match, and high fives. It's got to be all smiles from that man, Diego Gomez, as his side holds a comfortable advantage as we go into the halftime break. We're going to take a break along with them. Don't go anywhere. We got some halftime stats, highlights, and a little bit more on the halftime report from you. 2-0 so far through 45 in Phoenix.
Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? How fast do you want to get there? At Gateway Community College, you can achieve a career that takes you places in less time and for less money. Opportunity is not just for the select few. Living better is for everyone. Let us help you discover your future.
Quench your thirst and save big at Circle K, America's Thirst Stop. Soda 12-packs are 2 for $12 or 3 for $15. Select 24-pack bottled water cases are 2 for $7 or 3 for $9. And don't forget to grab one of our famous Polar Pop cups that stays cold longer, starting at just 99 cents. Only at Circle K, your one-stop shop for all your thirst needs. See store for details.
Get free checking at Arizona Financial. Plus, get $200 cash when you open your new checking account. There's no catch, no minimums, just 100% free checking, including free identity protection, built-in security features, and 24/7 mobile banking. Your financial future has arrived at Arizona Financial. Get the tools, security, high yields, and free checking you want, including free identity protection. Open your new checking account today and receive $200 cash. Visit ArizonaFinancial.org/free.
I am Hendrik, junior reporter for the Phoenix Rising FC. I am here with assistant coach Darnell King. I know as being a professional soccer player, you have to stay healthy. What kind of healthy snacks do you eat?
Ooh, really important to eat your bananas every day, apples, your fruits, your vegetables. But I do have my occasional Cheez-Its now and then, so.
I like to wear a lucky shirt or wear lucky socks. Do you have any superstitions?
Right, my son's initials on my tape before I went out and played. I don't know, I don't really have any lucky ones right now. Maybe you could teach me something.
I will. Do you put on sock, sock, shoe, suit, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
Do sock, sock, shoe, shoe.
What was your favorite memory so far as an assistant coach for the Phoenix Rising FC?
Ooh, a big favorite memory that I've had this year was when Pop came down here and scored that goal. I think you saw me sprint down the field and almost try and tackle half the team. Yeah, that was a big-time memory for me.
I like that moment, too. What would you do if you found a penguin in your freezer?
First, I'd scream loudly, and then I'd probably try and find it back to its habitat.
Thank you for your time, Darnell.
Oh, thank you for your time, my friend.
Back in, it's the halftime report. 2-0 Phoenix Rising, one of the best 45s we've seen here at home this year over San Antonio. It's Hispanic Heritage Night. There's a good crowd this evening. As we're going to let you go out here this next break. Got some mariachi music coming your way. 2-0 Phoenix Rising, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here in just a few moments.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Recentra bien el balón dentro del área. ¡Aparece el segundo! La combinación es buena. Se canta el 1-1. ¡Te lo canto! ¡No te puedo creer! Increíble, Felipe. Y señoras y señores, la USL Championship.
Mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Phoenix Rising are your reigning national champs, and they're fired up for the 2024 season. So come witness it. Join your Phoenix Rising as they take on Las Vegas Lights. Saturday, September 28th at 7:30, right here in Central Phoenix off 38th Street in Washington. And only 5 light rail stops from downtown Phoenix and Tempe. Tickets start at just $15. Go to phxrisingfc.com to buy your tickets now. Be there for kickoff at 7:30.
Hispanic Heritage Night, live entertainment for you. It's a 2-0. Plenty of entertainment on the pitch in the first 45 minutes for these hometown fans as they have this 2-0 advantage over San Antonio FC in a big match as the push for the playoffs continues on. We got some scores from around the league. Here's what we got in the East. Charleston Battery continuing to batter their opponents week in and week out. It is them and Louisville. They're the class of the league so far this year. Rhode Island, a big victory over FC Tulsa, a late winner and a helpful goal if you're a Phoenix Rising fan. And then a couple games going on right now. Las Vegas 1-1 with Sacramento Republic, and then Monterey Bay and Orange County SC still 0-0. That is who Phoenix plays next week in another big match. All these teams kind of crumpled up right in that kind of 8-7-8 range.
I'm still stuck on that battery thing, Killian. That's why they pay you the big bucks. These playoff races, especially in the Western Conference, so tight right now. We're seeing those battles play out across the league.
Here's some of these USL news and notes. Mention the Battery battering everybody in their way. Second team to clinch a spot in the USL Championship playoffs over there in the East Coast. Alex Tambakis, first goalkeeper in USL Championship history, records 600 saves. We got a chance to see him early in the year. A tremendous goalie over there from New Mexico United. And then a multi-year agreement renewal with ESPN International and the USL. Huge news, not only for the USL, but for American soccer as a whole, continue to try and grow the game in this country.
It's been step forward after step forward, really, for lower division soccer, for the USL as an organization, as they've struck out on these different TV deals, thinking about this year with CBS and ESPN, getting the Super League involved as well, and now furthering these things across the Atlantic and in other countries as well. A really positive thing for the league.
Grow the game. You can go to uslchampionship.com for more information for all your news and other notes you might want to find. We're going to take another break. leave you some of the more music on Hispanic Heritage Night in Phoenix.
This spring, Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on, savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Your health shouldn't depend on where you live, which language you speak, or the size of your paycheck. Everyone deserves access to high-quality care for a healthy life. At Equality Health, we partner with primary care providers to break down barriers to care and build healthy communities. Better health for all, the real game-winning goal. Equality Health is the season-presenting sponsor of the Phoenix Rising and proud sponsor of the Rising Community Soccer Clinics.
Hey, how goes it?
Well, I'm getting a new car.
Yeah, I've been contemplating the same.
Carvana's convenient.
Appreciate the tip.
Yeah, anytime. How's it going over there?
Hey, buy that car yet?
Be here Thursday. You?
It's a question for a more decisive me. Maybe I need to think about it more.
I believe in you.
You can do this. Come on. Definitely a no-brainer.
Wow, decisive.
Yeah, went with same-day delivery.
Well, it only took you a few days.
I know.
However you buy your car with Carvana.
Well, it's finally happening. The robots. They're coming.
Hi, Avery.
Maybe that's a good thing.
She said what? She said what? I was ready like a full 20 minutes before you. What are you talking about?
It drives better than you do, babe.
It does. Bye, robot.
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Equality Health, by Carvana, and by Northern Arizona University. Back in Phoenix, 2-0 advantage for the hosts. Hispanic Heritage Night. As you're watching the halftime report presented by NAU, Northern Arizona University. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. We're going to get you some of these first half highlights. It's probably been one of the more impressive 45 minutes that we've seen here in Phoenix from this Phoenix Rising team, as these first half highlights are presented by your Desert Ford dealers.
Yeah, I'll upgrade that probably to a definitely. This has been one of the best 45-minute stretches that we've seen from Phoenix Rising, not just here at 38th and Washington, but all season long. Getting that opener off of the set piece, Charlie Dennis finds Popmar Boy, who is a menace inside the box.
Yeah, big goal. Second one on the year for the rookie. He's been fantastic tonight. Can't say enough good things about the game that Popmar Boy has played both in defense and attack. Into the 39th, Darius Formella cuts in, right foot. Didn't have a ton of power, but had just enough.
Yeah, Richard Sanchez, I said it earlier, is going to want that one back. But Formella does so well to use the momentum of Carter Manley against him to then find the back of the net off that right-footed strike, taking full advantage of this start on the left wing, Darius Formella.
Fifth goal on the year for Formella and a 2-0 advantage. Here are the stats. And I think if these don't convince you at how dominating that first half has been for Phoenix, I don't really know what will. 11-1 in shots. Possession, it felt like it was even more skewed in favor of Phoenix. But they've really just done everything really well tonight. And San Antonio, they just kind of struggled.
Yeah, the attack has been there for Phoenix. Still looking for a bit more off that right side. I think if you're Diego Gomez, that's one thing that you're talking about a little bit with the guys at halftime. But it's been a fantastic first 45 minutes for Phoenix. And the exact opposite of that for San Antonio. They've not had enough of the ball. This is a team that right now is okay to not have a lot of the ball, but they have suffered far too much in their own third, have not been as aggressive in the attacking third. Luis Solignac's got that one shot for them, and it was a rushed effort that went wide to the left.
It certainly was. It was your halftime stats. Those were presented by Gateway Community College. Good crowd here tonight as the two teams making their way back out. Starting to stretch things out. Mentioned some potential changes for San Antonio as we're waiting to see officially who comes back out on the pitch. You talked a little bit about right before we went to the halftime break, maybe need some structure changes, everything out there on the pitch, and potentially, honestly, just get somebody new out there to change everything.
Yeah, we are seeing a substitution, excuse me, from Alan Marcina and Machop Chol coming onto the field, a more aggressive, forward-thinking player, somebody who's going to give Luis Solignac a body to play off of up top. I'd expect that we're going to see Solignac and Chol playing as more of a two-forward front with Jorge Hernandez playing underneath as more of a lone number 10. And that's going to help Killian the midfield structure as well, with Hernandez able to drop in and become part of that unit in central midfield. That gives San Antonio another dedicated body through the center to deal with Rising's overloads.
So if Chol enters, only change coming out of the halftime break as we are back underway in Phoenix. For Rising, 9 consecutive unbeaten when leading at half. They've won 8 of them, 1 draw. Goes all the way back to August of 2023. They ended up losing 2-1 to this San Antonio club that night.
Good work from Juro Margarita to earn that set piece. Less than 60 seconds inside the second half. Margarita showing his threat on the ball off that right side.
So Chol comes in for Brahito, as you just heard over the PA system in the stadium. So it looks like Dennis and Zambrano, and they're just going to play it quick, and the official says, hang on a second, not so fast, my friend.
Phoenix obviously had success on a set piece in the first 45, finding Pop Marboy. We'll see what they draw up here.
That goal on Marboy was from a corner. This one sent in for Mella, knocked right up and have to punch right over the crossbar.
Richard Sanchez trying to get his guys engaged. Barking at him after this ball comes in. Formella can't sneak it under the crossbar. Sanchez tips it over just to be safe.
First Carvana corner kick of this second half. Carvana will drive you happy, proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising FC. Margarito is there, and he'll be called off by Dennis. Dennis, low driven to the near post and headed up and right back out. It'll be a throw.
Phoenix Rising picking up right where they left off at the end of the first half in terms of where this game is being played. Killing in the first 45 minutes, just 25% of the touches on the field were in Phoenix Rising's own third. The entire 75% of the rest of those touches, 3 of every 4, was either in the middle third or in San Antonio's own defensive third. Rising continuing to apply pressure to the visitors in the second half.
I mean, that just kind of solidifies that thought that if you've been watching that first half, you get that feeling that, yes, Phoenix has been controlling the match that much. And there you go, Joe Lowry bringing the stats to back it.
Boom, baby. Spreadsheets for the win.
Rios Novo plays that one out. See if San Antonio can't try to pressure Phoenix a little bit more. They struggled doing that in the first half.
How's that touch?
Lovely is Julio Dortiotto. A little higher that time. As the goal scorer, Pop Marboy tries to come out and help. Machop Chol, one of his first touches, gets around Marboy, but not fully around just yet. Traore comes to help out.
San Antonio is still settling into that structure. Now in the second half, Chol, maybe more so than inciting some sort of positional and structural shift, he's giving San Antonio a more direct threat, somebody who can actually cause some problems for that Phoenix Rising back line, somebody who's going to try to sneak in behind Mo Traore as that left-sided center back for Phoenix. He can be the one to provide depth while Solignac provides that physicality through the center.
If you can't watch the match, be sure to turn on Sirius XM FC 157. It's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, getting our live matches from USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
That's better pressing from San Antonio, forcing that long ball, winning it, and progressing the other way.
There's Hernandez now coming back the other way. Nicely done by White to come and step in to shut down that attack. Blanco. Impressed that he managed to gain himself that much space after where the ball went out.
There's that replay. Lawrence Wyke over on the near side.
Control, now that one played in. Hernandez weaving his way, left-footed shot, knocked down and around, but still in a gaggle of red kits, as Dennis going to be able to bring it out. Formella going to clear it ahead. Now here's Angel. Angel, it's a 2-on-1, going to stop and turn. As he is pestered the whole way, now Angel takes a bit of a tumble and earns a free kick for Phoenix.
It's a huge size disparity between Kendall Brooks and Thomas Angel. They're the central center back for San Antonio, and Phoenix Rising's number 9. They've had a few of those battles tonight. Brooks has gotten the better of a few, and Angel a few as well. Tommy does well there to shake off the defender and earn that foul.
Brooks listed at 6'2", 195. Tommy Angel, as that one knocked through as Sanchez had to come out and punch it away. A 5'9", 147, Tomas Angel, and that was Emi Quaisho who tried to make it 3-0.
San Antonio a bit more aggressive defensively when they've had chances in the second half to press Phoenix Rising's build-up, but they've been sleepy inside their own half. A couple of times now, Richard Sanchez has clapped at his guys, hey, wake up. Can't be allowing those kinds of slipped balls in behind our back line.
Phoenix taking their time. Dennis setting up another Carvana corner kick. Second one of this second 45. Just 5 minutes in. Our boy already has one tonight. They're going to send one, trying to find him as Pop Marboy going to chase it down. Going to get it to Wyke, who stays on. Wyke going to cross it, but right into the head of a defender, and it's headed out. It will be a throw-in.
Talked about maybe Machop Chol's arrival, instigating some sort of formation swap for Alan Marcina. Doesn't look that way. They still seem to be in their 5-4-1 lower block. Chol is now on the right side. Jorge Hernandez sticking towards his left-sided role. San Antonio going to have to implement change in the second half in a different way.
Traore spins and turns. Finds his partner on the back line. Marboy, that goal in the 27th minute, the second of his rookie season. As long ball, Rocco Rios Novo wants to get involved. Margarita, if he can get around, little tug at the kit. Margarita, little chip off, tried to go 1-2. Margarita's right there, tries a low cross, spinning away and just kept in play. As Quaisho had to wait too long, to wait for an extra bounce on that ball. But Quaisho gets it right back. Dennis, Formella making a little run. Formella's got a goal tonight as well. Weaving his way, little front post and just past the keeper. Juggled up and away.
Nobody making that run off the weak side. Gerald Margarita, the right winger, is the player you might expect to make that run. He's already in a central position. Duratioto that never sells out to fill that lane. That's a missed opportunity in that ball across the box.
White tossed in right back to him. And he'll elect to play it all the way back. Rocco Rios Novo, got to keep him awake and involved.
He needs his touches.
It's the center mid at heart.
You do see San Antonio being more aggressive in terms of defending in a more man-oriented way. Trying to pressure the individual Phoenix Rising players through the center. Phoenix, though, still doing a great job of solving those problems.
Margarita running right downhill. Margarita, nice little move. Tries to get it to his right foot, but can't. Nicely done defensively from San Antonio and starting to bring it back the other direction. Solognak turns, kicks it right into the shins of Renzo Zambrano.
You called it out there, Killian. That was borderline flawless defending from Nelson Flores Blanco, knowing that Margarita wants to get the ball on that right foot. Did a great job of taking that angle away inside the box.
Jorge Hernandez, he's had a tough time tonight keeping the ball at his feet, trying to create for the league leader in assists. Here's Blanco. Blanco left foot as rising up, and Rios Novo collects that one. Wanted to try and play it quick. He and Mo Traore were kind of overlapping. The reigning USL champs, Phoenix Rising FC, play host to Las Vegas Lights on September 28th for Childhood Cancer Awareness Night. Cheer them to victory here at this beautiful stadium in Central Phoenix. Be there for every pass, every stop, every goal, and every win. Starting at just $15 a seat, there's a place for everyone. Get your tickets at phxrisingfc.com. Zambrano turns and a poor pass, and it's out. It'll be a throw-in. And now a stoppage. We're going to have a substitute, and there is the Phoenix Rising Legends. They'll get a nice round of applause from this home crowd.
You said it, Killian. Kevin Lambert is a true Phoenix Rising legend. I mentioned his name in the first half as a possible sub option for Alan Marcina. Somebody in Lambert who spent the better part of a decade out here in the Valley of the Sun. A huge part of all the success that Phoenix Rising has had as a club throughout their history. Somebody who parlayed that success in the championship into a move to MLS with Real Salt Lake, now back in the USL Championship and back in familiar territory.
Lambert going to weave his way through, lays off Solignac. Solignac trying to get himself involved. Low cross in, looking for Chol. He had some space, but nicely done by Traore to clear it out of the 18. Now Chol pestering, weaving around through a couple of defenders. Emi Quaisho still with the ball at his feet, and now taken down from behind.
And what this sub from Alan Marcina does is it illustrates one thing, which is that the halftime changes and really talking about how to control this Phoenix Rising build-up and deep possession sequences didn't work. San Antonio haven't had a ton more success corralling that Phoenix Rising build-up. It also says that Marcina wants more lankiness. He wants more ranginess in that midfield unit. Lambert is a proven ball winner at this level, both as a center back and as a number 6. He's going to be covering a lot of ground through the middle and breaking up plays.
It was a cool moment earlier today. Phoenix Rising came together with Lambert. And this is a ball set in, and inside the 18, they're going to say no. There was a little bit of a shove. It will be a throw to San Antonio. As Traore now trying to make the argument that no, it wasn't.
Yeah, not enough on that. Contact inside the box, not nearly enough for that to be a penalty. It'll be a throw in on that far side.
Phoenix presented Lambert with championship ring.
Ours are in the mail, I'm assuming.
I heard it was still on the way.
It is, though, a great moment for Kevin Lambert, somebody who means so much to this club, to Phoenix Rising, somebody who wore the shirt so many times in so many big games and wore it really, really well.
Alan Zambrano does a nice job coming back to intercept that ball. Phoenix going to try and see if they can't break out away. Bit of a poor pass in behind, and now a little sloppiness from Phoenix here in these last few minutes.
And the tempo's dipped for Phoenix Rising, and some of that's to be expected as legs get a little heavy. You're protecting that 2-0 lead. You don't necessarily want to go pedal to the metal for 90 full minutes, especially not at this game state. San Antonio taking some of the air out of the game with a couple of subs, one at halftime, and obviously Lambert coming on just a moment ago. San Antonio, though, when you give them a little room to breathe, have the quality in Hernandez, in Solignac playing as that 9, in Cho who's able to break in behind. Now Lambert in central midfield. They have the quality to break you. The Rising have to be careful about this tempo.
Dennis, and this is a 2-0 lead. It's one of those situations, there's still so much soccer left to be played tonight. A goal makes things extremely interesting. Where 2-0, you feel, okay, kind of comfortable with like another one, but if you give one up, all the momentum can swing back. As here is Lambert. He's going to swing it all the way over to the far side. Joel going to come collect this, bring it up the right wing. Joel leisurely jog. Solignac chops that one down, but couldn't get it to his man. A turnover. As Tommy Angel. And up like the idea. Just didn't get started in time.
And I'll be honest, I don't love the idea there from Phoenix Rising, even though Tommy Angel does. He's trying to make that run in behind, ultimately checks it, and that ball from Mo Traore sails over. And Angel saying, all right, good idea, right? and Hill doesn't necessarily have the legs to keep up with the much, much larger Kendall Burks. Burks has the stride. Tainer has the speed coming over from that left-sided center back spot. Rising don't have the legs to go and necessarily exploit all of that space in San Antonio's own half by playing direct. They're better off building systematically and taking advantage of those midfield overloads that have been there time and time again tonight.
Fans, if you haven't already, eFootball 2024 is here. You can live your dream and rep your team. Play your favorite USL Championship club. It is free to play. Go and download it now. Blanco. Got Wyke right in front of him. Blanco tries to get around. Keeps it to his left foot. Cross towards the back post. Headed down right at Rocco Rios Novo. An easy save for number 1 in goal.
It's better play from San Antonio. Moving wing back to wing back. Nelson Flores Blanco creates that space off of Lawrence Wyke, and it's Reese Buckmaster crashing on the weak side of the box. No real trouble there for Rocco Rios Novo, who always had that one covered coming from that right side. Still a bit of a warning shot from San Antonio. They're not done yet.
Long ball, that'll go out for a goal kick.
And you can see it now. Phoenix Rising not in a hurry. They're up 2-0. They have not had 2 goals in any more than 5 games coming into tonight. They've scored 2 goals or more exactly 5 times. This is not a position that they're used to being in, but they understand that we want a little time to tick off the clock here. The trick is in finding that balance between still going and looking for those chances when you can find them and wasting time along the way.
Dennis gets taken down, thinks about playing it quickly, and elects to just a moderate amount of time before they get back going. All the way back to Rios Novo. Seen a couple times as Rios Novo. Poor pass intercepted by Lambert, but nicely done by Traore to come and help clean things up, at least for a moment.
That's poor from Rocco Rios Novo, playing out of the back, sloppy. But what do we say about Kevin Lambert? He's a guy who comes in and breaks things up. He's got fantastic defensive instincts, great ball winning ability. It's a real danger there for San Antonio.
Troll tried to weasel his way around Popmar Boy. Here comes Dennis. They got the numbers. It's 4-on-3 if they can take advantage. Margarita plays it right into the feet of his defender. And Dora Tioto takes a bit of a late push. He looks up at the official, no whistle or advantage. They're going to keep playing. Here's Formella. Formella's had a really good night tonight. Tries to cross it, headed around, and taken out by Burra, but not fully away.
It's a great ball from Popmar Boy. Splitting lines to find Charlie Dennis and move that attack forward.
Margarita gets a little tangled up with Chol. Margarita, a little one-on-one. Touchline as an extra defender in front of Flores Blanco. Show a little 1-2 with Formella.
And there's Lambert striding out of midfield, striding out towards that center circle to Mark Renzo Zambrano. Good defensive awareness and slows that pivot, slows that rotation from left to right for Rising.
Rios Novo, play it back out. A little bit of a higher pressure being played right now from San Antonio. Poor touch, Popmar Boy caught out of position. White comes back to pick it up. Lambert lays off. Hernandez sent back to the center, but missed. Couldn't find his man as Buckmaster was crashing towards, same as Solignac was the one right in the middle.
Another bit of sloppiness out of the back for Phoenix Rising just a few minutes after that turnover from Rocco Rios Novo. San Antonio trying to find their groove in this second half. They're about to put on some pressure with Juan Agadello readying to come on.
Colombian, one of the top goal scorers for this club, is going to come on. He's going to be switching for Burra. So certainly trying to find a goal. The Colombian, 7 goals, 6 of them coming off of that right foot from Juan Agadello. He did have the brace in that victory over Phoenix earlier this year. See what he can do in these final 30 or so minutes tonight.
We're seeing Agudelo now come onto that 9 spot, playing through the middle.
Label this one through. Solignac trying to get it to his right, tries to cut it back over, but nicely done by Wyke to break things up. Quayshow settles it, sends it back. Doratiotto. Doratiotto lays ahead. Margarita. He's got Dennis making a run to his left, same as Doratiotto. Margarita back over Dennis. All sorts of space. Dennis left-footed shot. Dennis makes it 3-0 Phoenix.
Charlie Dennis says to the south end, let me hear it. 3-0 in front of the home crowd. Here at 38th and Washington, that is an incisive bit of play from one end to the other for Phoenix Rising. Knifing right through the midfield, ultimately to find Dennis for that strike, cushioning that lead. It's a lovely left-footed effort. We don't see it on the replay there, but so much of this goal, Killian, is not from the pass. It's not Charlie Dennis with that strike. It's the run that Giulio Doratiotto, number 6 on the right of your screen, just exiting, makes to clear the entire lane, draws the attention away from Dennis through the middle, takes San Antonio with him. Charlie Dennis left all alone, makes it 3-0.
And Charlie Dennis will score the goal, and he'll get a round of applause as he makes his way off the pitch. Dennis with his 2nd goal on the season, all smiles from 12. As a little standing ovation from this hometown crowd as Jose Andres Hernandez will come in the midfield for him.
It's a job well done for Charlie Dennis and Emil Quayshow. Sharp, both of them tonight. Now we'll see Gabby Torres playing in that left back role. Here's the replay of that sequence, and you see there the run from Doratiotto, drawing Kevin Lambert with him. That opens up the entire lane for Dennis to go out and exploit. That's a great bit of play, selfless movement off the ball from Phoenix Rising's young Italian, Giulio Doratiotto. Deserves tons of credit for that sequence.
As Doratiotto takes a foul, it'll be a free kick. Doratiotto was one of those guys we had seen just a few weeks ago when Diego Gomez kind of inserted him into this role of that 10 position. I think even you said he just doesn't really look comfortable. He doesn't look crisp. He doesn't really seem like he knows fully what he's doing yet. I'd say tonight he's been pretty good in that spot.
Yeah, he's been excellent tonight, and it's because Rising have worked together so well to create space. He's had tons of opportunities to move and to drift and to find the ball. If there's a real strength in Doratiotto's game, yeah, it's his size, yeah, it's his ability in the air. He's a big guy, but it's also his understanding of space off the ball. He's not an on-ball playmaker. He's not a through-ball threader. He can operate well in space and find those spaces for himself to then create even looks for his teammates as well. And we saw it all in that sequence.
And Doratiotto still on the ground. They're trying to call for the physio to come and take a look at him. There was a booking, and they finally do wave the trainer on.
You see that hip check there from a frustrated Jorge Hernandez.
Yeah, easy booking on Hernandez. As Doratiotto still down. And of course, don't want to speculate. I think hopefully he just kind of got the wind knocked out of him. There you go. I think we just missed the super moon, Joe. I think that was a couple nights ago.
I don't know a lot about the moon cycle, but that moon looks pretty super to me, Killian. So I'm gonna say that we nailed it tonight.
I would agree. It's pretty impressive.
We saw that hip check from Jorge Hernandez. Clearly frustrated, right? 3-0 down on the road, fighting tooth and nail to climb above that playoff line, not having success tonight. Well, a big part of the reason why San Antonio haven't had success is that Hernandez hasn't been on the ball enough. He hasn't been on the ball as much as he has been on average coming into tonight. I mentioned in the pregame, 12 of every 100 touches that San Antonio took on average coming into tonight belonged to their number 10, Jorge Hernandez. Tonight, it's just 9 of those 100. He's not been on the ball enough. He's not been able to pull those strings. You see the change at halftime from Alan Marcina, taking Brejito off, bringing Machacho on, changing that personnel and changing the profiles of those attacking players. It was designed to get Hernandez on the ball and changing the game, and we just haven't seen it in the last 25 minutes or so.
Doratiotto's up and good. You saw a good little bit of sportsmanship between he and Hernandez. You kind of saw, looked like Doratiotto kind of mentioned him, like, man, you got me on that one.
Killian throws that hip check every pregame. You got to be ready for it.
What can I say? Can't take away my dinner from him. (3-0) goals by Pop Marboy, Darius Formella, and Charlie Dennis have this 3-0 advantage for Phoenix as we've played 10 past the hour here in Phoenix.
San Antonio have thrown a ton of resources forward into their attack. Solignac, Juan Agudelo, Jorge Hernandez. Really that first choice front three at the moment. Machop Chol hanging out in that right half space through the middle at times as well. They have to push, right? There's no reason not to at this point for San Antonio. You've got to get a goal quick. You've got to look for another one and give yourself a chance in the dying moments.
Hernandez going to take it across midfield, giving him some space in the middle. Looking for Buckmaster in behind, but Buckmaster can't keep it when the mattered. Flag went up anyways. As a reminder, you can score your new career at Gateway Community College. With Gateway, you can achieve your GM career in less time and for less money. Get started at gatewaycc.edu. So we got about 20 or so minutes left, Joe. Obviously, things not looking great for San Antonio, but if there's anything that you want to see out of these next 20 minutes from the visitors, what would it be?
It's about saving face a little bit through the midfield and trying to iron out some of those deficiencies, putting on pressure, creating those transition attacking opportunities. And then it's about being clinical in the final third. You have to take your chances at this point. There's not enough wiggle room for you to come out with anything other than near 100% efficiency in the final third. The challenge is, it's just really, really hard to do.
As it stands, this is obviously with matches still going on, Phoenix with this 3-0 victory stands at 36 points, 4 points out of the 6th seed. And San Antonio still holding pat at that 10 spot on 31 points, but down just a point to Orange County SC, the opponent of Phoenix Rising in the middle of next week. This one sent over right to the feet of Mo Traore. Jose Andres Hernandez, one of his first touches this evening. Gortioto gets upended, and it will be a free kick. And everybody being told to stop going after Julio.
Yeah, he's been on the ground a little too much in the last couple of minutes. Nelson Flores Blanco comes across. Ratioto takes a bit of a hit there. Also not in a rush to move this thing forward, Julio Ratioto. Really the only number 10 in this squad right now with Fede Varela still working his way back. Interested to see if we see any more changes from Diego Gomez in that attacking midfield position to give Julio a bit of a rest.
Margarito, those long legs, weaving his way around that ball, but loses possession. Agudelo, Buckmaster. Knees it down to himself, goes right back. Hernandez, Margarita, he was right on top of him the whole way. Flores Blanco brings it up, gonna cross it in, looking for Agudelo, but nobody there as popped high up into the air. Zambrano gonna take possession. He'll take a kick at the back.
San Antonio just in a bit of a funk. It's unlike Kevin Lambert to let that ball bounce in an opportunity that he has to pounce on that ball and turn it into an attacking sequence. He's late. He's a step or two late. Zambrano has plenty of time to bring that thing down, plenty of time to evade a bit of pressure, and Phoenix get to watch more time tick off the clock. This has been a very, very unlike performance, very, very much unlike what we've seen from San Antonio FC at their best under Alan Marcina over the last 4 years.
Rios Nova waiting for some more red tops to work their way forward into the attacking third. Solignac heads it down, knocked around, chipped forward, but Pop Marboy is right there.
Pop Marboy's been so good tonight, Killian. Defending against Luis Solignac in the first half. Now he's got Juan Agudelo as his matchup through central spaces. Scores the goal as well. What an evening
Dorotioto almost snuck one through to Margarita. As it'll be out substitutes coming on while we get who they are. Fans, if you're hungry, head on into Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Cane's hand-battered chicken finger and delicious secret sauce. This is the perfect way to feed your post-game appetite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love. You can say post-game, or in our case, pre-game as well.
I was going to say, there's a little pre-game, a little halftime. Maybe there'll be a little post-game too, you never know.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Couple more changes. Shannon Gomez, one coming on for San Antonio.
Renzo Zambrano can't believe that there was no whistle blown on that sequence.
Joel intercepts that ball as it kind of got away from space, knocked up and headed around Chol. First to that header, but Traore knocks it up and around. Formella, it's a little bit of a slide, unable to make great contact on it. Hernandez. San Antonio still pressuring, down 3-0. Flores Blanco cuts back, gets it to his right foot, crossed in towards the back post. Nobody there, and Dorotioto, wrong place at the wrong time, but luckily Rocco Rios Novo quick on the feet to collect that one.
Yeah, it's just another ploy to get Rocco a few touches. That won't be a SportsCenter top 10 sequence on that attempted clearance there from Phoenix Rising. Still in control of this game, watching seconds tick off the clock. Still maybe something more in it too.
A long run, but not there. Now a bit out of position. Potential for Phoenix continuing to press on, but electing to reset. I mean, Torres, one of his first touches. Phoenix Club, they've scored 3 goals in a match just twice so far this season. 4 tonight. Both those matches came all the way back in April. It was a 3-3 draw at FC Tulsa earlier in the year, and then a 3-1 victory at Rhode Island. That is a long look well wide.
And while we're doing blasts from the past, Killian, Diego Gomez, interim Phoenix Rising manager, his very first game in charge of this team in 2024 after Danny Stone moved on was against San Antonio. That was a 2-1 loss. This is now his 10th game in charge. There's a lot more room for this team to grow, and a lot of room that they need to grow if they want to make a push and really stay above the playoff line period before you even think about the postseason. There's more work to be done, but tonight feels like the clearest example that we've seen so far of what Diego Gomez wants this team to look like, how he wants them to play, the structure in which he wants them to play, and then some of the attacking difference makers that you brought in to be exactly that have been those kinds of players tonight, and Charlie Dennis tapped the whole thing off on that third goal.
So Barker John will come on for the goal scorer, Darius Formella. He'll leave to a good round of applause. A very strong performance from the Polish international. Julio will be the other man who comes off for JP Sears. Back, and now the official, looks like Rocco Rios Novo ends up picking up a yellow card. Took a little too much time.
We've seen it before, and we'll see it again for Rocco Rios Novo and Phoenix Rising, who are very much playing the game of how many seconds can I wait before I put this ball back in play, and the referee had enough.
Barker John, touch and then upended. That'll be a quick yellow. Even Barker John, first touch, really first action.
We haven't seen a lot of Damian Barker John since he joined the club at that summer window on loan from Real Monarchs, the MLS Next Pro side for Major League Soccer's Real Salt Lake. But if we do know something about Barker John, it's that he is a direct threat. He likes to run in behind. He likes to knife forward vertically rather than horizontally. He is a much, much more vertical player than Joel Margarita. he's going to give Rising that direct threat and make life very, very difficult for San Antonio for the next 10+ minutes.
Barker John on this right wing now. Margarita ended up switching sides. He took over that position that was held by Formella. Free kick headed towards the near post, but off target. Might have been just a bit wide. As Skier's trying to find himself on the score sheet. Long ball laid in, a little bit of a tug at the back from White, but Rios Novo is right there. Agadello with a thumbs up on the ball into him.
White gets the better of that battle. As we see this chance at the other end. Phoenix Rising with another headed effort. Richard Sanchez, though, nothing to worry about there.
Sanchez will take it from the head of his defender.
You could see Juan Agadello in that sequence just a moment ago. Maybe laboring a little bit, doesn't have his usual physicality. Does well there with his back to goal to find Machop Chol. But Lawrence Wyke having that physical edge there inside the 18.
Chol, the ball back at his feet. Nifty move to get a little bit of space. But nice recovery. Coming right back, standing on top of Chol. Giving back Lambert. Lambert, right-footed shot. Got a little too far underneath that one, and that one might be in the parking lot.
That's a concourse shot right there from Kevin Lambert. San Antonio haven't had success finding clear-cut attacking opportunities tonight. Just the one shot in the first half. We've had a few more looks in this second half, a few moments where it seemed like the tide might be turning ever so slightly in their favor, even down 2-0. Charlie Dennis makes it the third, and despite the subs that Alan Marcina has made, Jake LaCava now playing off the left wing. Body after body added in from the bench for San Antonio. You can see their lack of cohesion really coming back to bite them. And that's not necessarily even San Antonio or Alan Marcina's fault. It's a reaction, and it's a result of all of the injuries and all of the turnover, the international absences that they've had this season. It has been exceedingly difficult for San Antonio to put out their first choice lineup at all, let alone in back-to-back or back-to-back-to-back kind of games.
We mentioned it off the top, and it's a good time to kind of revisit that. I don't even necessarily know how much it's possible to have a first choice lineup. They've had 27 different starting 11s out of 28 matches played now. That's absolutely insane to think that they haven't had the same players. They've used 31 so far this season. 137 matches have been missed by players for the San Antonio side. And this is a club, it's a down year, but there's a very clear reason why, I think.
Yeah, it's blindingly obvious. I think that's really well said, Killian. You look at the talent on this team. Jorge Hernandez is a guy that's talked about in USL circles as a how long is he going to be here kind of guy, not a and he's going to be the cornerstone piece for a USL team forever. He's already been across the Atlantic once. It would not surprise me if he has another trip left in him. He's fantastic. You look at Kevin Lambert. This is a guy who's played in Major League Soccer. You look at Juan Agadello. He's done the same thing. Now trending the other direction in his career. But he's had to play 3 different roles this season and really not been allowed to play the one that they brought him in to do, which is to play off of a striker in a 3-5-2 because of chopping and changing, because of injuries and all of those challenges. It's just been a nightmare year for San Antonio.
Margarita, good ball in from Barker John. Margarita cuts, still waiting, and turned back. Little one-touch back to Margarita. Skiers sent over. Andreas Hernandez, now low cross, knocked down. Nicely done to throw it away, as Minor Phoenix Children's is the exclusive official pediatric medical partner of Phoenix Rising. To learn more, you can visit phoenixchildrens.org.
It hasn't come up too much tonight because of how dominant Phoenix Rising have been, but you could see it when Joe Margarita cut across on that right foot, now playing off the left side rather than as that wide right winger. I think he's so much more dangerous, Killian, playing on the left as an inverted winger where he gets to get the ball on that right foot and drive inside. He doesn't have the speed or the strength to really be that traditional winger who gets to the end line and plays those cutbacks. He wants to receive right here and then cut in on that right foot.
There's Tomas and Hell and low shot. Barker John makes it 4. Calm, cool, and collected. Damian Barker John nets his first in a Phoenix Rising kit.
How's that for an evening off the bench for Damian Barker John? Barely been on the field for more than a few minutes. sees the bouncing ball inside the 18 and takes full advantage. But here's what I'm talking about, Killian. Margarita unbalances defenses with those quick right-footed touches, and Hell takes the shot on goal. It ends up falling to Damian Barker-John, and the youngster puts it away. It's 4-0. It's a rout here in the Valley of the Sun.
All smiles from this home dugout. That man is certainly one of the happiest in this building, is Diego Gomez. I'm sure in his mind, he's thinking, man, did I just unlock something for the biggest stretch of this season.
It's a huge moment for Phoenix Rising to get some momentum tonight, and way more important than momentum, to get 3 points tonight against another team that is pushing for your spot, or somebody else's spot right around you in the Western Conference playoff field. The recipe really does feel like it's starting to come together. The right mix of this, the right mix of that. Strong defensive play has been the real continuity factor for Rising. Now adding in a little bit more of that attacking thrust.
Barker-John gives off as Angel dispossessed. As LaCava starts to make his way back forward, taking away Traore. Phoenix might not be done. Little crossover back behind Angel, just wasn't there, as behind him, and he just said, you know what, I'm just going to take a quick seat here.
He wants his. He's a number 9. He absolutely wants his, Tommy Angel. Phoenix Rising searching for that 5th. I do want to go back to Margarita as he comes off, and Juan Carlos Azocar, comes on to play in that left wing role. I really am convinced, and I'm curious to hear more from Diego Gomez about this in the coming weeks. I'm really convinced that Margarita's at his best on that left side. Now, Darius Romelo obviously had a good game tonight, and there's not a real reason to try and reshuffle that at the moment. Margarita is so much more incisive. His objectives are much more clear, and they fit his profile to be that left winger. Ultimately Rising, bringing in Darius Johnson as well from the Eredivisie in that summer transfer window. They imagine him being a starting player for this team, Margarita being another. Both of those players fit. I think Margarita fits really well on that left side of Johnson on the right.
Folks, the USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Be sure to catch live matches and expert analysis as the season winds down towards the playoffs every day on the CBS Sports Colosso Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Joe, 4 goals from Phoenix. I'll give you your quick trivia. Do you know the last time Phoenix scored 4 goals in a match?
1912.
A little off, just a little bit. It was
season.
In the playoffs last
Yes,
season. It was a 4-3 win in the quarterfinals over that San Diego Loyal side.
Yeah.
That's the last time that they'd scored 4 goals. If you want the regular season match, you're going to have to go even further back than that. It's going to be all the way back till July 1st. They put 6 on Memphis.
Yeah, I was here for that game last season. Phoenix Rising running rampant behind Memphis's back line. They've had a lot of success doing something very, very similar tonight. Not necessarily with pacey attackers, but with the ability to build through midfield, to draw players forward, and then to play those balls on the ground, measured, careful passes into attackers who have the quality to make things happen in front of goal. Killian, this is a very different team. There's no doubt about it. This is a very different team to the one that we saw start the season. Tommy Angel brought in on loan from LAFC. He starts as the 9 tonight. Joe Margarita signed, last played in Azerbaijan, played in the Netherlands as well. He's brought in during the summer transfer window. Charlie Dennis playing as that right-sided midfielder. He gets on the score sheet tonight. Pop Marboy growing into his own game as that set-piece threat inside the 18 and the lockdown anchor that he is at the other end. This is a Rising team that is trying to find itself. And the question for them moving forward is this a blip? Or is this the start of a more regular trend? And we're going to find out the answer to that.
Certainly a little 1-2, nearly cutting it through. Jose Andres Hernandez was knifing through that back line as it's headed up, and it will be a whistle and a foul. Lawrence Wyke will get a booking. So final few minutes, this thing's all but wrapped up tonight. Start to look a little bit forward as we're into this true playoff push, as we get ready to turn the page. We're mid-September. We'll start with the visitors, as here's another look at that foul on the booking from Lawrence Wyke. So San Antonio tonight really was, if you're looking ahead for San Antonio, tonight was really, really important they've got, you go at home, you got Rhode Island, which is a Rhode Island club. But then you got Sacramento Republic.
Yeah.
You have a match against El Paso, who they've been struggling this season. That's one that you'd hope to get 3 points. But then you finish with an absolute gauntlet. At Colorado, they've been really good, turned around from the start of the season. And then Louisville City and Detroit City, two of the better teams in the East to finish out the year.
Yeah, that's why tonight was so huge for them. You look at that schedule. Yes, there are winnable games. And yes, the San Antonio team at their best is good enough, I truly believe, to play with anybody in the league. And maybe that sets Lou City a little bit of a side there. Maybe they're in their own category. They certainly have been on the season. But on their day, I do think San Antonio can hang with anybody. The challenge is there just aren't that many days left. And there are a lot of good teams. We haven't seen San Antonio hit their heights at all. Not a single time. Not in back-to-back games this season. They have a really, really tough few games coming up in that stretch, as you detailed.
And we mentioned tonight, as it stands, San Antonio sitting 2 points back now. Phoenix Rising, FC Tulsa. This thing's getting kind of shuffled around in this evening. But yeah, sitting 1 point back of 8th place behind Orange County SC. Phoenix sitting in 7th with 36 points. They're just 4 points back of 6th in Oakland. But then for Phoenix Rising, for them, this is the way that the season's lined up. You want control of your own destiny. Things have been perfect if you're looking for Phoenix. You got Orange County next week. You're battling right around the same spot, an opportunity to kind of pick up some points, separate yourself a little bit from that 8th place line. Then you got Las Vegas. You have a Monterey Bay team that struggled. Then you got a couple big road matches in early October at New Mexico and then at Oakland just a few days later.
Yeah, that Oakland game could be huge. Oakland, as things stand right now, sitting in 6th, 4 points above Phoenix Rising in the standings. You know, there's a lot that can and will change, certainly between that game and tonight as we're sitting here, Killian. That's a huge opportunity for Phoenix Rising to flip the script. The challenge in all this is that it's unclear exactly where you want to be in the standings in the Western Conference. I believed all year long the Sacramento Republic are the true giants in the Western Conference. New Mexico United has had a good season. They've done so with a very pedestrian goal differential. They've struggled at times this season, but they have picked up results in a way that I'm not sure is 100% sustainable come playoff time. The Sacramento team has recently beaten Phoenix Rising. They didn't have a ton of challenges there. They are strong. They are talented at the top end. If you're Phoenix, you're really happy to avoid Sac in that first round.
Skiers lays one out wide, and that one crossed, not going anywhere. Yeah, Sacramento presently 3rd, as they're currently down 2-1 to Las Vegas late in the second half in that one. But New Mexico, it's always tough, though, and I think you kind of saw it last year with this Phoenix Rising in that run. You get hot, you get a keeper that is hot. Rocco Rios Novo was the best in the league last year down the stretch. Alex Tambakis for New Mexico United has been a class above, I think, so far this year. We saw in the news and notes at halftime, 600 career saves. He's been really good. As there's the yellow for the tug at the back of the kit of Renzo Zambrano. As Phoenix going right back quickly. Might not be done yet. And Hell, little back heel, lovely ball movement, knocked down and not fully cleared away, as rolled up and out of the 18.
With Tommy Angel, you still see him. He's going 110 miles an hour. He's playing like it's minute 1, not minute 94. This is a guy who has not produced at the level that he would have expected, or that Phoenix Rising would have expected when they brought him in on loan from LAFC during the summer transfer window. He is a guy with the quality and with the intelligence and effort that he is willing to give that will put up more goals for Phoenix Rising between now and the end of the regular season, and maybe between now and the end of that postseason run, if it happens and whenever it ends. He is a guy who is hungry to put the ball in the back of the net, and we're going to see that happen.
Well, if you're Diogo Gomez, you got to love that idea, as Parker John starts to work his way forward, gets picked up by a second. Parker John, can he find 2? And diving save by Sanchez. Parker John almost had a brace in about 15 minutes of action tonight.
Damian Parker John has been electric off the bench for Phoenix Rising, playing on that right side, bobbing and weaving his way through an exhausted and broken San Antonio defense, putting the pressure on when they wanted to leave San Antonio.
And there it is, the final whistle, and a little standing O from this hometown crowd A big smile on the face of Diego Gomez and a 4-0 Phoenix Rising victory over San Antonio. Critical 3 points as Phoenix now 4 above 8th place in the West.
What a performance tonight for Phoenix Rising. A comprehensive victory. Lockdown defensive work from their back three and others. And so sharp in the final third with their possession sequences. Set pieces ultimately breaking the deadlock in the early stages. And then the open play quality knifing through that San Antonio midfield, doing the rest of the work.
Rocco Rios Novo, a quiet night, another clean sheet for the man in the back, 12th on the year for the Argentinian. Well, we're going to take one more break. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up for you here on the other side of this 4-0 Phoenix Rising victory. We'll be right back with the post-match report.
You came looking for a light beer. And you found gold. Modelo Oro. The light beer with a smooth, elevated taste and a clean, crisp finish. Perfect for those who never settle for less than they deserve. Modelo Oro, the gold standard of light beer.
Well, it's finally happening. The robots. They're coming.
Hi, Avery.
Maybe that's a good thing.
She said, what? She said, what? I was ready like a full 20 minutes before you. What are you talking about?
It drives better than you do, babe.
It does. Bye, robot.
Huh. How long have you been tracking our car's value with Carvana?
Just like 7 months.
Should we sell it?
We hold.
Hold.
Silver vans are going for more right now. Should we?
Our low mileage is paying off. You think we should?
Hold.
Depreciation's really heating up. You think? We just did 2.5%.
Hold. Now.
I'm on it.
Already sold to Carvana. Go to Carvana and track your car's value today.
Back in. Happy dancing on Hispanic Heritage Night for this hometown crowd. 4-0 Phoenix Rising, a drubbing of San Antonio this evening to move a couple points clear. As Charlie Dennis got the old phone out. A little IG post maybe there, Joe, for one of the goal scorers as high fives. Here are the highlights from the match. Goal started, Pop Marboy opened the scoring. He elevated for this header.
He absolutely did, and I already took your phone and posted a selfie of both of us to IG during that intermission. A great strike there from Pop Marboy, rising up with that header. He's been a dominant force in both boxes in 2024. You can see what it means to him to get this club off the mark.
Right back in the 39th, there is Formella. He was really, really sharp tonight. Didn't need a lot of it, but got just enough to sneak it by the keeper and pick up the second goal in the evening.
Yeah, for as sharp as Formella was, Richard Sanchez, the exact opposite. He sees that one a little bit late off the leg of Kendall Burks, but a really, really poor night for San Antonio's starting keeper.
Go to the second half. Phoenix wasn't done. Couple early opportunities. This is really the most dangerous look that San Antonio had tonight. It was a header right in the waiting arms of Rocco Rios Novo, but in the 66th, this is like leaving Steph Curry with all sorts of room. Oh. Charlie Dennis was not going to not make this.
Yeah, that makes Julio Duratioso what, Draymond Green? In that instance, he does the selfless work off the ball, and Charlie Dennis snipes that thing home. It's a great goal.
Dennis, big celebration for one of the new additions coming over in this transfer window. And then the 85th, fresh into the match, Damian Barker-John nets his first. Tomas Angel, the shot knocked away right to the feet of Barker-John, who picks up his first in a Rising kit.
Super sub for Phoenix Rising, but again, you see from San Antonio, just sloppy play, uncharacteristically so, inside their own box. A top 8 defensive team coming into tonight, no longer.
Here are the final stats brought to you by Gateway Community College. Really does kind of proved the point. Yeah, Phoenix just was the better club tonight.
Yeah, they were absolutely dominant. One of the best performances from Phoenix Rising of 2024. Likely the best and one of the most influential as well. Getting 3 points over a team that is vying right along with you for a spot in the postseason.
Yeah, you want to look the expected goals, 0.14 from San Antonio tonight in a dominant Phoenix Rising performance. A big 3 points for the hosts here in Phoenix, as it is all smiles, all celebrations. Could this be the start of another magical run for the defending USL champions? We'll have to wait and see. They hit the road next week. It's a busy one at Orange County, a huge match for the defending champs as they look to try and continue their push towards the playoffs. Well, for my partner, Joe Lowry, my name is Killian McClatchy. A big thanks to our entire Bitfire crew here tonight from Phoenix. A 4-0 victory. Phoenix Rising trying to start things and get it going. We've been watching this presentation of the USL Championship. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here in about a week's time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Mar Boy, the rookie. Of the night for the hosts. Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Mar Boy, the rookie.
When you can't find the back of the net in open play, where do you turn? You turn to set pieces. A lovely delivery from Charlie Dennis. And who else but the defensive anchor, the physical monster, Pop Mar Boy, rising up inside the 18. Richard Sanchez dives down to his right. Too little, too late. The set
of the night for the hosts. Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Mar Boy, the rookie.
When you can't find the back of the net in open play, where do you turn? You turn to set pieces. A lovely delivery from Charlie Dennis. And who else but the defensive anchor, the physical monster, Pop Mar Boy, rising up inside the 18. Richard Sanchez dives down to his right. Too little, too late. The set
of the night for the hosts. Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Mar Boy, the rookie.
When you can't find the back of the net in open play, where do you turn? You turn to set pieces. A lovely delivery from Charlie Dennis. And who else but the defensive anchor, the physical monster, Pop Mar Boy, rising up inside the 18. Richard Sanchez dives down to his right. Too little, too late. The set
of the night for the hosts. Dennis swings this one in and knocked it in the back of the net. It was Pop Mar Boy, the rookie.
When you can't find the back of the net in open play, where do you turn? You turn to set pieces. A lovely delivery from Charlie Dennis. And who else but the defensive anchor, the physical monster, Pop Mar Boy, rising up inside the 18. Richard Sanchez dives down to his right. Too little, too late. The set
down, they're going to keep playing. It does. Formella, all sorts of space. Cuts to his right. Formella, right-footed shot. And Formella makes it 2-0.
Darius Formella cutting in on that right foot, making Richard Sanchez pay. It's one Sanchez that's going to want to have back. Phoenix Rising having success building through central midfield, putting San Antonio on the back foot. And make
down, they're going to keep playing. It does. Formella, all sorts of space. Cuts to his right. Formella, right-footed shot. And Formella makes it 2-0.
Darius Formella cutting in on that right foot, making Richard Sanchez pay. It's one Sanchez that's going to want to have back. Phoenix Rising having success building through central midfield, putting San Antonio on the back foot. And make
down, they're going to keep playing. It does. Formella, all sorts of space. Cuts to his right. Formella, right-footed shot. And Formella makes it 2-0.
Darius Formella cutting in on that right foot, making Richard Sanchez pay. It's one Sanchez that's going to want to have back. Phoenix Rising having success building through central midfield, putting San Antonio on the back foot. And make
down, they're going to keep playing. It does. Formella, all sorts of space. Cuts to his right. Formella, right-footed shot, and Formella makes it 2-0.
Darius Formella cutting in on that right foot, making Richard Sanchez pay. It's one Sanchez that's going to want to have back. Phoenix Rising having success building through central midfield, putting San Antonio on the back foot. And make
left, same as Dorotioto. Margarita back over Dennis, all sorts of space. Dennis, left-footed shot. Dennis makes it 3-0 Phoenix.
Charlie Dennis says to the south end, let me hear it. 3-0.